My name is Gladiator. I wish. Gladiator. Gladiator won Best Picture in 2000 and therefore is one of the reasons why I am reviewing this film. Because as most of you know, I am reviewing all the Best Picture winners from the Academy Awards from 1995 to present day. And my goal is to have reviewed every single one on this channel by the time March rolls around, which is when the Academy Award for Best Picture shall be announced. So, let's get started with this review.
Are you not entertained?
Gladiator's premise can be broken down quite simply by a guy by the name of Maximus. He is the commander-in-chief of this Roman army, and he is the favorite of the Emperor of Rome. This Emperor of Rome, though, he has a son, a brat of a son, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and his name is Commodus. Now, Commodus and Maximus, they don't see eye to eye because the thing is, Maximus doesn't want to be the next emperor. However, Commodus does, and there lies the problem between the two. The two collide on a lot of things, very subtle, very nuanced type of things in the beginning, but that ends up leading to the emperor having to decide upon the two. And without spoiling anything, that's what the film's about, premise-wise. I cannot really spoil anything else because although this is a 2.5 hour film, you want to go into this film as open-minded as possible because you will be surprised by it. Now, with all of this in mind, I will now go into the positives. There are so many positives in this film. This is one of those films that it's not that I grew up with this film, but was always aware of this film. Like when I was age 12, I watched it for the first time, and I wasn't really, I don't know, susceptible, I guess you could say, to films, like many films. So in watching this, I was blown away. And I saw it several years later when I was like 17 or 18, and I had a different outlook on it. And part of that has to deal with the storytelling method of it. The storytelling method, although simple, it works extremely well because you are immersed in the film. Right from the beginning, there's a battle scene, and this battle scene, it's just incredibly well done, and it sets the stones for all the characters. And as soon as this battle happens, at the end of it, you're just like, whoa, I am ready. So although this film may be 2.5 hours long, you are never bored by it. And that is probably one of the film's main assets, especially considering the script, which has 4 or 5 screenwriters. It's well written. It's so quotable. Like, I'm sure, even if you haven't seen this film, you have heard of the quote, "Are you not entertained? Well, are you?" Which leads me into the film's messages. I love that line, "Are you not entertained?" Because without spoiling anything, that line was said during a gladiator match after he kills someone. Because during that scene, I think it's the hour mark when that happens, but when you reach that hour mark, he throws this line at you after killing someone, and I had to take a step back and just be like, I am entertained. I was being entertained by people getting killed, and I'm like, I'm no better than people when they were in the Rome times. Like, not much has changed, and it kind of brought the message of violence, how humans have always tended to be violent from the beginning of time to now. Whether you're into sports or not, like sports have always been very violent, unless of course you're into like tennis or golf. But that's beside the point. What I'm trying to say is the messages of this film are very deep, and you can kind of pick it apart upon each viewing of this film. It has an extremely good rewatchability quality to it. And I just want to really talk about Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is simply incredible in this film. I have seen a lot of his films, and I'm not going to lie when I say I'm a huge fan of his. I love everything that he's in. Even some of his films that weren't exactly great, his performance was. And I love Gladiator in his performance as Maximus because he was in the film The Insider. Michael Mann's The Insider, which came out the year before Gladiator. and he was like 40 or 50 pounds overweight. He ate a bunch of like fatty food, and then he had to come onto this set in Gladiator and be muscular. So he gained, I think it was 40 pounds of muscle, and he's able to show it off real well. I mean, I'm not gay or anything, but like, man, he looks good in this film, and his performance is out of this world. And Joaquin Phoenix, he is also incredible as Commodus, and he's very like evil and yet at the same time childish, and it's an odd combo, but it works extremely well. The editing style of this film is also very good, like how it goes between scenes of political agenda with the emperor and that whole circle of people, as well as like Maximus and like his people, and like the contrast between the two, and how like the one group really doesn't care about politics, and then you have the politicians who obviously care about politics. So I just love the contrast between the two, and it goes without saying, I know in pretty much all my reviews I talk about the music, but why wouldn't I talk about the music in Gladiator? It is done by Hans Zimmer, okay? This score is incredibly well composed. It's so well done that Hans Zimmer decided to use this during his first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That's how well done this music was in this film. And let me tell you, please, for the love of God, do not listen to this music if you're like driving. You will get into a car crash. I guarantee it. But enough about the positives. Let's get to the negatives. The negatives of this film, you know what? I would honestly be an idiot if I was to say there were any negatives of this film. I have heard people complain about like the cinematography in this film, and you know what? For those of you that feel that way, you can honestly just walk out of like this review right now, because you, my friend, are stupid to think that cinematography in this film is awful. It is grainy for a reason. It is shaky camera for a reason. And that's all there is to it. That's all you need to know. And you know something? If you don't feel the emotional intensity of the film's storytelling, you just aren't human. You really feel the emotion in this film. So, there are no negatives, alright? End of story. But, I gotta wrap this all up, guys. So, in conclusion, guys, Gladiator is a well-shot film, well-lit, well-acted, well-scripted, well-directed. It is just an all-around, well-done film. I have no negatives to bestow upon this film. And you know something? I honestly have to say this film has aged extremely well. The VFX has aged extremely well. And this is Ridley Scott's masterpiece. He has done a great many films, Blade Runner and Alien being among two of them. And I just really would highly recommend this film to those of you that have not seen it. And I will be giving Gladiator a 5 out of 5 star rating, which is an A+ letter grade. You have to see this film. Even if you don't like action, it still works as a drama. So now, guys, I'm going to try and take a break from the Academy Award films just for a little bit, because there are a great many films coming out later on of this month, as well as October's coming around in November. But I will be filming a couple Academy Award films in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, I want to hear your opinions on my reviews, and I just want to hear on what films you guys want me to review. And as always, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.